4. News with David Cruz and Don Colson. David Bacon on sports. Weather with Lane Roberts.
Good evening, everyone. There are new developments tonight in the county bail bond controversy. It was a...
News Center for the Weekend Edition. News with Lori Tucker. Sports with Rick Lozano. And weather with Bill Dante. News Center 4 is brought to you by Belden Roofing and Remodeling, the name you can trust for anything around the house.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lori Tucker. Thanks for joining us. Well, Rick.
This is News 4 San Antonio at 10.
And good evening, everybody. I'm Dan Poyet, filling in for David Scott.
And I'm Lori Tucker. Police are investigating...
From KMOL TV, Channel 4, this is News 4 San Antonio at 10.
Good evening, everyone. Lori Tucker returns from vacation on Monday. Tonight, the grim...
San Antonio spirit on board.
From the hill country to the Rio Grande. Live from the heart of Texas. This is News 4 San Antonio at 10.
Good evening. A man twice convicted of capital murder was sentenced.
Live from the heart of Texas, this is KMOL News at sunrise.
Good morning. It's Thursday, June the 10th, coming up on KMOL.
KMOL News at 5 is next.
Uvalde didn't want him. Neither did El Paso nor Wichita Falls. So why is the convicted killer in San Antonio? A 13-year-old girl on trial for setting up another teen to be gang raped here. And city workers are finding themselves overrun with weed woes.
Live from the heart of Texas, this is KMOL News at 5.
Good afternoon. I'm Jerry Grant. Deborah is off this afternoon. Well, he's been looking for a home. Now,
KMOL News Nightcast is next.
Raul Mesa's short, unwelcome week in San Antonio is over. We'll have the latest.
We'll also have a special report on how Mesa got a relatively light sentence in the first place.
And, of course, a report on the latest round of Texas Lotto fever.
Live from the heart of Texas, this is KMOL News Nightcast.
Good evening. I'm Jerry Grant.
I'm Deborah Daniels. Raul Mesa is
working in the spirit of San Antonio. Straight talk, straight facts, straight to you. This is KMOL News 4 San Antonio.
Good afternoon. I'm Randy Beamer. Deborah has the day off. Less than 2 months.
Working in the spirit of San Antonio. This is KMOL News 4.
Good evening. I'm Randy Beamer.
I'm Deborah.
Working in the spirit of San Antonio. This is KMOL News 4.
The queen of Tejano music is laid to rest in Corpus Christi.
You're on San Antonio's most watched station, KMOL TV4.
You're watching KMOL News 4's SA Today. Good morning, everyone. I'm Joan Lucas.
And I'm Bruce Case, topping the news in SA Today. And
This is KMOL News 4, San Antonio.
Good evening. I'm Randy Beamer.
I'm Deborah Daniels. Police kept it hush-hush.
This is KMOL News 4, San Antonio.
Good evening, I'm Fred Lozano.
And I'm Tangi Patton. San Antonio police are calling a violent night of...
You're watching News 4 San Antonio. Today's top stories, plus news you can use.
British tabloids are reporting today that Princess...
You're watching For San Antonio.
Just when the Air Force gets a break in its search for that missing warplane, Mother Nature moves in with bad weather, grounding the search.
You're on the most watched local station, For San Antonio.
This is News 4 San Antonio at 5. Good afternoon. I'm Fred Lozano. Underlying theme in the Dole Kemp campaign. Even in church, Olympic medalist Josh Davis is treated like a hero. And later in sports, another blow to an already crippled Cowboys team. Don Harris with an update on Emmett.
You're watching the fastest growing news station. This is News 4 San Antonio.
You're watching the fastest growing newscast, News 4 San Antonio at 10.
Here are tonight's winning lotto and pick 3 numbers.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio with Kathy Garcia.
News.
Live from the Riverwalk downtown, you're watching News 4 San Antonio today.
Good morning. It's 5 minutes before 9 on this Tuesday, April.
Live from the Riverwalk downtown, you're watching News 4 San Antonio with Kathy Garcia, Katie Kiefer, and Randy Beamer. Live from the Riverwalk downtown, you're watching News 4 San Antonio with Randy Beamer and Katie Kiefer.
This is our coming up in sports.
Live from the Riverwalk downtown, you're watching News 4 San Antonio with Deborah Daniels and Randy Beamer.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers.
This is News 4 WOAI.
A first day at school in the dark. A power transformer topples over at an elementary school, knocking out power to an entire town. Good afternoon. We're tracking the latest from the News 4 WOAI 24-hour Newsplex.
2 schools.
You're watching News 4 WOAI.
Drivers are fuming about a gas shortage in Arizona.
You're watching News 4 WOAI.
News 4 WOAI in the Cone Zone. Loop 410 doesn't look so bad right now, but don't plan on driving the stretch of road over the weekend. That's because beginning at 6 a.m., crews will close alternating lanes of Loop 410 between Fredericksburg Road and I-10 for bridge work. And
This is News 4 WOAI.
The bad news is the Home Depot CEO lost his job today. On the bright side, he got it.
This is News 4 at 10.
New at 10 today, local children's.
You're waking up to News 4 WOAI today in high definition.
Good morning, everyone. It is 4:30. I'm Leslie Bowl-Jones.
And I'm Jay Avila. It is Friday, July 8th. It was a horrifying
barbecue without busting our diets. We'll have that in just a bit. San Antonio Living starts now.
Fun, fresh, informative, from the heart of downtown. You're watching San Antonio Living on 4 WOAI.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to San Antonio Living. I'm Shelley Miles. We've got a lot planned.
Dedicated, determined, dependable. News 4 WOAI in high definition starts right now.
Priority patients can get in line. A mass shipment of...
News 4 WOAI at 6:30 starts right now.
The military calls it a matter of integrity.
That it was fundamentally against everything we stand for as an institution to force people to lie about who they are just to wear a uniform.
And don't ask, don't tell. Good evening, I'm Randy Beamer.
And I'm Elsa Ramon. Today, a military...
Dedicated, determined, dependable. News 4 WOAI in high definition starts right now.
Hours after some areas saw rain, some streets are still flooded.
You're watching Jacqueline Ortiz, meteorologist Steve Linscomb with your Storm Tracker 4 forecast, and David Chancellor with sports. This is News 4 WOAI at 10 in high definition. Dedicated, determined, dependable.
People in one San Antonio neighborhood say every time
You're waking up to News 4 San Antonio today with World Car Sky 4, the only helicopter up in the morning.
How a big rig caught fire on the northwest side and burned thousands of pounds of cargo.
The race for president is getting tighter. What the newest polls say about the candidates. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Let's go straight to Mike Hernandez, who's in for Jeanette.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio today.
Good morning, I'm David Chancellor.
And I'm Alexis Delsit. It is January 31st. Tomorrow's
San Antonio at noon.
Today, the national political spotlight turns to Alabama as voters in that state are deciding on a pivotal U.S. Senate seat.
Well, love all the different Girl Scout cookies that have been around for years. Then we have some great news for you when it comes to the latest yogurt hitting the market.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio at noon.
Big story involving the Archbishop of San Antonio and what he's expected to say this afternoon.
News 4 San Antonio starts right now.
Right now, police are looking for whoever shot 4 men.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio.
The church should bring people to God and not destroy them.
Our top story tonight, a new report on sexual abuse by priests in the San Antonio area.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio.
Tonight, the San Antonio Archdiocese is naming names. We take a closer look at the report calling.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio Evening Break.
Welcome to News 4 San Antonio's Evening Break. I'm Delane Matthew.
And I'm Michael Garofalo in for Randy Beamer. On top tonight, stepping up security.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio Evening Break.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to News 4 San Antonio's Evening Break. I'm Delane Matthew.
And I'm Randy Beamer, and coming up for you tonight, rising cases. The technology doctors.
News 4 San Antonio starts right now.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Christina De Leon. We're in our new broadcast center, and hopefully you like it.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio at 10.
Our top story tonight, sexual abuse claims tied to a local daycare. Right now, 3 people are in jail as we learn.
You're waking up to News 4 San Antonio today.
Well, good morning. Thanks for watching the news at 5. I'm David Chancellor, Jeanette Kaye, right on cue, right in the weather center.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio at noon.
Well, thank you for joining us today. I'm David Chancellor.
This is News 4 San Antonio.
We begin tonight with a lot of questions about COVID-19 testing after the city announced yesterday public.
This is News 4 San Antonio.
We have fewer chances to have a case of COVID-19.
How one South Texas county has been able to stay virus-free. Plus, how the rising number of COVID cases and hospitalizations is affecting one local nurse and their family.
You're watching News 4 San Antonio Evening Break.
Changing virus. How researchers say COVID-19 may now be mutating and the effects that could have on our...
This is News 4 San Antonio at 10.
A variety of businesses cited for...